Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside the guys Anthony Floyd and Michael Bullock. We have a loaded show here for you guys tonight. Smackdown Live, AEW Rampage. Then we're previewing um, the NXT special event that's going down, the premium live event, NXT Battleground. We got that, and then of course AEW Double or Nothing. Basically, we try to stretch it out as much as we could. There's just too much stuff going on right now, so we got that going down, and we will get that here tonight. So start out with SmackDown Live. Austin Theory versus Sheamus. United States Heavyweight title on the line. And it was Austin Theory winning the match in 12 minutes and 1 second, thanks to some interference by Pretty Deadly. And this was a great matchup. This was a very good matchup. Obviously, the overbook kind of takes away from it, but this was a solid 3-star fight for me. So I really got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours. Theory successfully defends the title in 12:01.
All right. 3.25 stars for this. Of course, I got to do it because it's something that's to be expected here. Austin Theory pulling the tights and getting the win. I had to get that out. All right. At least it made sense, though, building on the foundation of a feud that was laid a week ago when the Brawling Brutes stole a win, or I should say, Pretty Deadly stole a win over the Brawling Brutes. The match between Theory and Sheamus was a damn good one, a hard-hitting match that would have fit right in on the United Champions card. The chemistry was there. Theory proved he could hang with the Celtic Warrior, and the crowd was into it, despite it being the opening match of a second Smackdown taping last week. There is more meat on that proverbial bone. A potential rematch more than welcome at some point in the near future. Theory sent Sheamus into the steel post, then dropped him on the ring apron to seize control of the match entering the break. Butch and Holland prevented the champion from utilizing a steel chair, the momentary distraction allowing Sheamus to grab hold of his opponent and deliver a 25 beat to the Bowdrin. And then Pretty Deadly got involved, providing a distraction of their own and allowing Theory to roll Sheamus up for the win and the successful title defense. It was a 3.5-star match, but I got to bump it down to 3.25 because of the craziness at the end, but it was still a very good match. You can certainly make an argument for Fight of the Night honors here. So not much more to add on this. So 3.25 stars. Michael Bullock, Phenom, fresh off another one of our legendary SmackDown chats, of course. We saw this, and Austin Theory pulling the tights and getting the win to retain the title.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, he pulled the tights and got the win and to somehow retain the title. And, yeah, it was a good match, but like you said, I got to give it 3.25. I could have given it 3.5, but because of the craziness, the overbooked finish, I have to bump it down some as well. So 3.25 stars. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, next up that we had was a women's tag team match, as it was Io Sky and Bailey going up against Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. And it was Raquel and Shotzi winning the match in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Solid 3 stars. Competitive bout here. Ultimately, the match was less about the new babyface tandem and more about the mounting dissension within the heel faction. Bailey and Io Sky have teased tension in the past, mostly centered around the latter standing up to her teammate and demanding a championship opportunity at Backlash. She lost in that match, and since then, things have been a bit out of whack for her and the role model. Look for that to intensify Monday night and moving forward as Sky and Bailey inch closer to a split that will enhance the singles roster, but weaken a tag division that lacks depth as it is. And Shotzi launched herself through the ropes with a tope suicida, wiping out her opponents at ringside. And Io Sky delivered a missile dropkick to Shotzi, but not before Rodriguez dropped down to avoid it and pinned Bailey for the win. Sky and Bailey teased miscommunication and tension after the bout. So solid 3 for the effort here. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to give this 3 stars as well. I mean, a solid match here. I mean, it definitely gives Raquel and Shotzi some momentum going into that huge fatal four-way to determine the new women's tag team champions this upcoming Monday night on Raw. So yeah, we'll see who comes out of this. So 3 stars at your Sledge.
3 is the right order, and yeah, they did all right with it. I do like the fact that Io and Bailey are definitely showing that look of that they, there's not there isn't cohesiveness or unity between them two, and it sucks because Dakota Kai, as many of you guys know or maybe don't know, Dakota Kai suffered a torn ACL. She is out for the remainder of the year. She will not be back in 2023, and
That's a damn shame, and that's a damn shame because here's a woman who's been through so many. She's had a torn ACL before, and now she's
yeah.
suffered it again. You can't
I
but
don't.
feel.
Yep. Well, I was gonna say I don't know if it's from the same knee or if this is the other knee that she tore the
Yeah.
ACL on. That's the only thing I don't know. If she re-aggravated the ACL, yeah, that's even damaging in itself. But yeah, so
you look at it, you can't help but feel bad for her. I mean,
yeah,
she's gone through this before, and now she's got to go through it again, whether it's the same one or the other knee this time.
yeah,
It just sucks for her. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like this is, and I don't know how to say it, but this is like bad luck for her. I mean,
yeah.
to have this with this torn ACL again. I mean, part of me feels like, what did she do to deserve this? I really don't know. So that's all I
There
gotta
was
say
some
on it.
people. Now here's the reason why that's coming up because it also has to do with Liv Morgan. Liv also got hurt in that match. That led to her. That led to her and Raquel forcing to relinquish and surrender the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Now, there's been some talk that maybe it was Io's fault that led to Liv getting hurt. There's been some pointing from the fingers from the Io fans that it was Liv's fault. I don't know. I think you got to roll back, rewatch the match because it happened on SmackDown. The match on SmackDown was when the injuries happened. Now, we don't know who's really at fault, if it was just a freak accident that they both got hurt. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going there with it. But I do know that that's the match where the injury occurred. So I don't know at what point Io got hurt where she tore the ACL. I don't know at what point Liv got hurt that the shoulder or the arm got jacked up enough where now she's out of action for a while. I don't know. All I know is it was during that match. It was during a fight. And them two got hurt in that match. I don't know if it was the fatal four-way. I know it was about a week ago. About a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown was when the injury occurred. So, like I said, I'm just leaving it there, and we'll see how it plays out. So, with that said, let's get into the next match. It was Cameron Grimes versus Shanti Diadonis. Grimes winning in 4-11, but then after the match got jumped by Baron Corbin. Corbin lays out Grimes getting a little piece of revenge here. So nothing more to say. I guess Michael Bullock, it's yours.
I'll give this about one, maybe 1.5 of the effort here. I mean, yeah, this definitely continues the momentum for Cameron Grimes since since being drafted to SmackDown, and obviously it looks like this whole thing between him and Baron Corbin is far from over. So it's yours, Fletch.
I think it's the same way. It could go a number of different ways, but it was what it was. It was pretty good, not bad. It was more of a showcase for Grimes, but for all the fans who haven't really gotten a chance to see Cameron in action. Now you get to see him, and that's really it. There's really nothing more for me to add here. So Anthony, it's yours.
Baron Corbin is the perfect first opponent for Cameron Grimes, especially as management tries to get fans to buy into the NXT export. Maybe one of the best heels in wrestling, Corbin can get fans to cheer for Grimes, something a lesser opponent would struggle to do. Their eventual match should be a lot of fun. Cameron Grimes continued his winning ways tonight, knocking off Ashante the Adonis of Hit Row in quick and decisive fashion. And then that's where Corbin came out. I'm not going to go too further into this. It's not really worth it to me, to be honest with you. I'm not going to give you the extracurricular. So this was 1.5. So MF, let's move on. MF, are you there? All right.
Not to give him the.
I think you were cutting in and out.
What the? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, barely. Yeah.
All right. I think you got me now. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like my Wi-Fi kind of dropped frame rates on me for a second or two. All right. Yeah. All right. I think we're good now. All right. So with that said, we'll move on. It was LA Knight versus Rick Boogs. LA Knight wins in 356. It's a showcase fight for LA Knight. Boogs had no chance. I'll say this, though. I'll say this. A lot of people are loving LA Knight. He's one of the most over guys in WWE. And I know they're trying to push him as a heel, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the fans are going to do what they need to do, and that's what we're going to get. I mean, another showcase fight. We don't really have to talk much about it. If you guys don't want to, it's up to you. What I do want to get into is Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles winning in 9 minutes. Solid match, good battle, 2.5 to close to 3. This was more AJ getting the momentum as he has a date with Destiny. His match against Seth Rollins tomorrow for the World Heavyweight Championship. 2.5 to 3. Anthony, go.
AJ Styles looks as good as he has in years as he prepares to battle Seth Rollins at Night of Champions for the reintroduced World Heavyweight Championship. He proved as much tonight in a strong match against Karrion Kross. Back and forth, ultra-competitive bout was narrowly won by the Phenomenal One, who capitalized on a single mistake and delivered his trademark phenomenal forearm for the win. With Rollins likely to win the title tomorrow, it would hardly be a bad thing for Triple H and WWE Creative to revisit this matchup with a full-fledged storyline to boot. Styles and Kross had solid in-ring chemistry, and with the latter still looking to build creative momentum and forge a connection with the audience, utilizing someone with the experience and credibility of Styles would surely accomplish that. Michin chased Scarlett from ringside, preventing her from interfering on behalf of Kross. Kross drove Styles into the ring post with a powerbomb and controlled the bout throughout the break, and Styles delivered the phenomenal forearm for the win. A solid 3 for this, and maybe it could lead to a potential mixed tag down the road. AJ and Michin against Scarlett and Kross. I mean, we've seen Scarlett wrestle before in a mixed tag. I believe it was her and Kross against Madcap and Emma, I believe, some time ago. So Scarlett can wrestle. She can. Believe me, I know. But, we'll have to wait and find out. But solid 3 here. Michael Bullock, we talked about this during our SmackDown chat tonight, and you had said, what if Karrion Kross wins this match? But I'm like, it would be big for him, but let's be realistic. Styles needed to win more in order for him to have some sort of momentum going into the big match with Rollins tomorrow for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he definitely needed the momentum going into the match. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Because I mean, obviously, we're all looking forward to this. I mean, and you need to give this guy some momentum. So, um, yeah. So I'm gonna give this about a 3 for this. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and we'll go right into the main event as it was. Actually, the main event segment, Roman Reigns, his 1,000 days as champion, interrupted by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and it led to a beatdown by the Bloodline. Bloodline stands tall, and there was an image that definitely mortified the WWE universe and definitely had a lot of people talking. Roman Reigns with his hands on the tag team titles. Anthony, it's yours.
No doubt about it. Segment of the night here. No question about that. There are very real cracks in the foundation of the Bloodline following tonight's episode of SmackDown, with the Usos showing defiance in the face of Roman, but eventually, maybe momentarily reuniting with him to close out the show. Along the way, the most dominant faction in modern WWE history brutalized Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, leaving the undisputed tag team champions lying to close out the show and put a bow on the final hype for tomorrow's Night of Champions main event. The Bloodline storytelling remains superb, with the focus reverting back to the fractured relationship between Reigns and the Usos that dates back to the start of the Tribal Chiefs' historic reign as champion in 2020. Rumors and speculation of its demise were greatly exaggerated. At some point, Jey Uso is going to drop Roman Reigns, and the crowd's reaction will be otherworldly, something everyone involved with this program deserves. It appears to be coming sooner rather than later, and when it does, the WWE Universe will have another one of those magical moments it can point to a generation from now as one of the company's most defining. That can be attributed to the strong, believable, and convicted performances of the men involved. The Usos made their way to the ring, seemingly disobeying Roman's wishes, much to the dismay of Paul Heyman. And KO said he has been right about everything the whole time. He's been right about the way that Roman Reigns treats you, and he has been right about you deserving better. He calls himself the head of the table, but you're looking at the heart of the table right here. And then Owen said, you went from being the best tag team in history to being Roman Reigns' little errand boys. And then Jimmy, bold statement. He says, when it comes to the day ones, I am the tribal chief, raising his finger in the air in a declarative statement to the jaw-drop chagrin of Heyman. And Sami said the Bloodline is collapsing and it's all your fault. And Jey willingly handed over one set of undisputed tag team championships to Solo. Jimmy hesitated to do the same in regard to Roman. It was Jey who took them from him and meekly handed them to the head of the table, who stood tall to close the show. Segment of the night, no question about it. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, the best storyline in WWE right now, far and away, added yet another chapter to it.
Yeah, you can definitely add another chapter to this whole saga with the Bloodline. And yeah, I mean, the only question obviously now is what's next now. I mean, because we already know what's going to happen. Well, we'll save it for when we preview. Well, we already previewed Night of Champions, so you already know the story by now. So nothing more to say. This was a great way to close out the show. So, Fletch, let's get into our overall thoughts.
All right.
First off with you.
You say what?
Well, didn't you give your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a great main event segment. I thought everybody did their roles really well. I think it was a solid night. And like you said, uh, there's definitely dissension among the ranks. It looks like there's going to be a big problem with the bloodline, and it could boil over tomorrow at Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions. So there's no doubt about it. As far as overall review goes, Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Yeah, I thought this was. I thought it was a good show. I mean, there definitely were some things I definitely thought that could have been better. I mean, I'm gonna give this about maybe 7.5. So not much more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Solid 7. I mean, it could have been better in certain areas, but it did hammer down some good points here. AJ getting a big win, heading into his championship fight tomorrow night, obviously, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. Great storyline by the Bloodline and Sami and Owens. That makes their match even a little more stronger than ever. I think at the end of the day, they handled their business. They did what they needed it to do, and now we're focused, and all roads now leads to Saudi Arabia. That's going down in just a few hours, tomorrow afternoon, starting at 1 on Peacock in the United States, WWE Network around the rest of the world. And we have ourselves quite a show, and we'll get into that. Actually, no, we already covered that last night. So we'll see if it plays out. You'll get our thoughts about it tomorrow night for a special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN as we get to recap that event. So, with that said, Anthony, it's yours.
And that's one of the running gags Michael Bullock and I usually have during our chats there whenever we see a pay-per-view promo spot. And I would do the business part of it. I would say that this event, or in this case, Night of Champions, will be live tomorrow from the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, streaming exclusively on Peacock here in the United States. And hey, Bullock, we're outside of it. And how does he say it?
A WWE network elsewhere around the world, and
traditional pay-per-view in my McMagma voice. So there you go, MF. That's a little sample of one of the running gags Bullock and I have during our Raw and Smackdown chats there.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Absolutely. So, in the immortal words of Excalibur, got to give the people what they want. So that's what that was. So, all right, all seriousness and kidding aside, solid 7 here. With the exception of the superb bloodline stuff, tonight's show felt very much like a pre-taped placeholder, but with a few intriguing pieces. Karrion Kross was fantastic in his match with AJ Styles and could really benefit from consistent creative that allows him to explain who he is without relying on cryptic promos. He can bring it in the ring, but he needs to find a way to channel his charisma into a character fans can identify and understand. Until that happens, letting him work with Styles and have the type of matches we saw tonight is a perfect opportunity for him. Ditto to Austin Theory, who still feels like he is one or two elements away from being the star that Triple H, Vince McMahon, and the WWE power players believe him to be. Still, despite their creative shortcomings, Theory and Kross showed out tonight, planting the seeds for them to expand upon their roles on SmackDown in the foreseeable future. So, solid 7 for me. So with that, let's get to another pre-tape placeholder, AEW Rampage, when it comes to Double or Nothing.
Yes, indeed. Total agreement on that one. Started out with a 6-man tag, as it was the Acclaim and Daddy Ass. They went up against Rush, Jalisco, and Preston Vance, and it was the Acclaim winning it in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. It was a solid opener. Pretty good matchup. It was, I would probably say, about maybe about 3. Really nothing more to add here. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yep. All right. A lot of AEW trios matches have a breakneck pace, but this bout actually allowed each moment to breathe. It never felt like they were rushing, even when they were having a fast-paced exchange. The pacing allowed them to do a little storytelling, but the action in the match was down the middle. Everyone did a good job, but it's doubtful this match will be remembered next week after we get through a pay-per-view. And Bowens ended up sitting in the lap of a few fans after getting knocked over the barricade by Rush. close-up shot showed that Billy Gunn was bleeding from his hand after fighting at ringside for a bit. But the interesting thing after this is that after the match, Anthony Bowens cut a promo against the House of Black. Yeah. And remember, they said that the House of Black issued an open challenge for their Trios Championship in that House Rules match. So I think we found those challengers. I think it's going to be the Acclaimed going up against the House of Black for the Trios Championship in that House Rules match at Sunday night at Double or Nothing. So 9 minutes or so. I will probably give this about maybe 3 for the effort. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Acclaimed and Daddy Ass pick up another big win, and it looks like they're going to be the next challengers for the House of Black and the Trios Championship Sunday night at Double or Nothing in that House Rules match.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. So yeah, I'll definitely give it 3 stars. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, yeah. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Then we had ourselves a. I would say this. Then we had the Guns and Ethan Page wrestling 3 local guys. They won it in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. No need to talk about that one. We'll just move right on along. Hikaru Shida and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. And it was Dr. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida winning in 9 minutes. Anthony, it's yours.
Solid 3. We didn't see anything special in this match, but it ended up being more than expected. This could have been a quick 3-minute encounter, but thankfully it ended up lasting through a commercial break to take up 2 segments. Britt Baker able to get the submission win over Marina Shafir with the lockjaw. Nyla is a former champion and has a great entrance. It sucks to see her not being given a televised entrance. It's always a little scary whenever a wrestler chooses to work barefoot, a la Riddle. There are so many ways they can injure their feet, and that's why Miro stopped doing it. One of the things Baker has improved the most since joining AEW is her selling. She used to make everything look a little too dramatic, but she has found the right balance and sells everything really well now. And Nyla Rose slamming Hikaru Shida on top of Baker and Shafir to break up a pin was a fun spot. And Jim Ross was right. Baker's swinging neckbreaker looked great, and Shafir did an excellent job selling the landing. Another 3-star effort here. And then after the match, it showed the Outcasts standing over a beaten women's champion, Jamie Hayter. So it's definitely making that match a little disconcerting now. Hayter and Toni Storm for the women's championship, and we'll address that in a little bit. But solid 3 for this. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, solid 3. I mean, nice win for Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida. But you guys saw as Britt Baker was making her way to the ring, she gave a stare down to Chris Jericho, basically sending a message of basically what Adam Cole was gonna do to him. So, but yeah, and of course, then to see her friend Jamie Hayter basically get getting beat down by the Outcast. So now who knows what that means for the match between Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. So nothing more to say. It is your Fletch.
All right. Yeah, like you guys have been saying, I think it can go a number of ways. We'll get into it tonight. So yeah. We're gonna go into the main event of Rampage. It was Big Bill and Lee Moriarty versus the Best Friends. Best Friends wins the match in 9 minutes. Bullock, is yours.
What was the time?
9 minutes even.
Yeah, I'll give this about another 3 stars. I mean, it was fine for what it was again. So yeah, I'm not going to get really that much more into it. So it's your Fletch.
It was fine. It was a good matchup. But the thing was, they were more focused on that casino, on that 21-man battle royale because it led to a brawl and a half after the match was over. A number of the guys coming out, a number of the guys brawling outside the ring, but even the brawl wasn't really that great. It looked very like they were going by the motions. It didn't seem like the fans really cared about it too much. I'm a little concerned about that battle royale now. I'm gonna just say that. We'll get into that in a little while. Anthony, 3 stars. It's yours.
Yeah, 3 stars for the effort. Not gonna go too crazy on this one. It was fine for what it was, and what many would call an upset. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty scored the win when the big man hit a choke slam on Taylor. The show ended with a huge brawl breaking out with most of the participants in the Blackjack Battle Royale. It's still weird to have a name like Big Bill in AEW. It feels so much more like what WWE would name somebody. So, and AEW once had a guy named Big Bill Collier on the show, so it's a little unfair to him since he has been using that name for a lot longer. Best Friends used a few heel tactics during the match, which was kind of unusual to see. They typically follow the rules. Great to see Big Bill looking so healthy after he had some issues a few years ago. He's been a solid addition to the AEW roster. And Chuck Taylor's pile driver looked great. It was quick and effective. So another solid 3 here. Overall review.
Lackluster. Not forgettable is what I would say.
You're here.
Maybe 6 out of 10. And I'm even being generous with that rating. It just didn't do anything for me. It doesn't get my excitement level for Double or Nothing. It's just a blah Rampage show. And thank God once Collision happens that they're probably gonna limit Rampage because I kind of feel like they should get rid of it. Like there's no use for the show. There's really no use for Rampage. I'm sorry. You're taking away AEW Dark. You're taking away AEW Elevation. Fine, because nobody gives 2 shits about those shows. Just as much as I don't really care about Rampage. Rampage is just a wasted hour of professional wrestling that AEW doesn't need. Dynamite and Collision should be your 2 main focus shows.
Amen.
Dynamite is your Monday Night Raw. Collision will become your new SmackDown. And those should be the 2 shows you should rally around and base around on your programming each and every week as appointment TV for AEW. Florio, go.
Hallelujah and amen to that, MF. You couldn't, Longfellow couldn't have said that any better. I'm with you. I'll give it 6 out of 10 because, you know, three star matches. We had 3 matches that were 3 stars. You did have a dud in there. It was, like I said, it was a pre-tape placeholder because, you know, they obviously wanted to get some final hype in for Double or Nothing, which is understandable. It's kind of what SmackDown was tonight, but SmackDown was just a smidgen better, to be honest with you. And I 100% agree with everything you just said. They got rid of Dark, great. They got rid of Elevation, great. It's about high time Rampage goes too. Because MF, you nailed it. You said it. That Rampage is I mean, why should we have to waste an extra hour? I mean, considering we're coming off a 2-hour SmackDown, which we don't mind at all because SmackDown's fun to watch. This show, however, no. I can't really get into it myself. Unless, of course, it's a live show and something exciting happens. But when it first started, it was exciting. But the first couple episodes really were exciting. Remember when Christian won the Impact title from Kenny Omega on that very first show? Great moment. And then the following week was when CM Punk came out of hiding after 7 years. Greatest moment in the history of that show. But what has Rampage done for us since those first 2 shows? Not a damn thing. Maybe a few things here and there, but lately it's a chore. I feel like it's a chore, an unnecessary chore. And I'm right there with you, MF. I mean, I got better things to watch on a Friday night. I mean, after a great SmackDown, you know? So, yeah, it's just it feels like an unnecessary commitment. That's what it feels like. So I'll say it like that. So thankfully, it's only a few more weeks before Collision comes in, and then we can put Rampage on the back burner, and then we can focus on SmackDown and Collision when we move the show in a few weeks. And I'm more than okay with that. So especially with the other big change coming. So that's it. 6 out of 10. I'll be generous with MF. So not much more to say. Bullock, take it home, and then we'll get into our pay-per-view previews here.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. So nothing more to say. Let's get into our previews.
All right, we start out with NXT. This is the Battleground. It's going to be from Lowell, Massachusetts at the Songus Arena. And here is the official fight card. It is 6 matches altogether. We started out with the NXT Tag Team Championship of the World. Gallus versus the Creeds. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer here. I got to go with my boys Gallus. They've been the most dominated tag team. However, if there was a moment where we could see new tag team champions, this might be it. Creeds have been very hot lately. They've been really well. They've reestablished themselves as legitimate threats. I think Gallus is going to win, but I would not be stunned if we see new tag team champions coming out of here on Sunday night. So I'm going to go with Gallus, but I would not be surprised if the Creeds gets the belt back. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Gallus has been booked so odd. They're perpetually tweeners who tend to say they'll fight anyone, but only if they play some darts and drink some beer with them. Now they're dodging Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. All right. Creed brothers are great, and I would be fully down to see them win the titles back, but I would imagine D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo are the real next in line once Tony gets out of his quote-unquote legal problems. So I got Gallus winning this match. Winners and still the NXT Tag Team Champions. It is the Gallus boys. So Bullock, are we going to go unanimous here?
Yeah, I'm going unanimous. I'm going with the Gallus to win as well. So yeah, so there's nothing more to say. Move on.
Next up, Anthony, you lead off. Last man standing. Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak. It's yours.
They've been doing a lot. I gotta tell you. I just want to make sure I was here. Okay. They've been doing a lot to try to let everyone know these two are going to beat the hell out of each other. Good. That's what we're going to need. Dragunov is at his best when he's in a brutal fight, and Dijak should be rehabbed to look like a badass again. I'm kind of hoping Dijak wins, but the overall theme is more so leaning toward Dragunov being able to take the pain and deal with it. If I'm WWE, I'm setting up Dijak as the next threat to Carmelo Hayes and having him go over. But I think they go the opposite route here. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say Ilya Dragunov wins this match. This has the potential to be a show stealer here. So there's not much more to say. I got Ilya Dragunov winning this last man standing match. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, this should be a good last man standing match, but yeah, I'm with Anthony. I gotta go with Ilya Dragunov to win this. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it to Ilya Dragunov as well. I think it's going to be a solid match. Really nothing more to add. Next up, Bullock, you'll be leading off on this, the triple threat for the NXT North American Championship. The champion, Wes Lee, goes up against two very good challengers. The one lonely boy, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy. It's yours.
Yeah, I mean, Wesley has overcome all the odds when it comes to defending the title, and he's got two very, very good challengers. But I don't know. I mean, I just got this feeling that somehow Wesley is going to overcome the odds and once again prove why he is worthy of that championship. So I'm actually going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Wesley to retain. So it's yours, Fletch.
I think a lot of people thought Wesley was going to lose that belt at Stand and Deliver in the 5-way and then shock the world and won it. I don't know. I would love to see Wes keep it, but something tells me Gacy walks away with this belt. Because of Dyad, because of Ava, I think Gacy gets the moment. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm going on my own. Joe Gacy, the next North American champion in NXT. I think winner and new champion Joe Gacy. Anthony, it's yours.
In a sense, I'm with you, MF. Something strikes me as Joe Gacy coming out on top of this. I would not make that call if I were in charge. But hey, it's their call, not ours. Lee's held this title quite a long time and defended it a lot, so losing now doesn't undo his reign by any means. Tyler Bate could win, but wouldn't it just be a lateral move compared to keeping it on Lee or doing something new with Gacy? Since Carmelo Hayes is a babyface champion at the top, I think WWE might look to put this title on a heel with Gacy at the moment to offset that. But Lee overcoming the odds has been his gimmick lately, and with Gacy getting the better of both Lee and Bate on the go-home show on Tuesday, I'm starting to think Lee will hold on to it for a little bit longer. So I can't rule out Gacy winning, but at the same time, until I see something different, I got to go with the winner and still North American champion, Wes Lee.
Which is fair enough. And I think the one that would be the stunner is if Tyler Bate walks out with this belt. Yeah. If Tyler Bate wins it would be a stunner because nobody would see that coming. No. But Gacy definitely has a shot, but I would not be stunned if Wes Lee wins it all either. So we'll see. All right. So now the next fight that we got here is Noam Dar putting his NXT Heritage Cup on the line against Dragon Lee in a British rules match. And just to let you know, in a British rules match, I'm going to explain the rules. So it is basically 6 3-minute rounds or with a 20-second break in between each round. The matches are actually 2 out of 3 falls. Falls can be won by pinfall, submission, or countout. Once we get a fall, the round is over. The match is done by any point when any competitor gets 2 falls. In an event of a disqualification or a knockout, the match is instantly ends without the need of the 2 falls. If the 6 rounds is completed and whoever is ahead at the end of the 6 wins the match. So that is the rules of the match. So think about it this way. Basically, what you want is you want to get the 2 falls. If one person gets the first fall, then you're up, and then you just keep going. So there's a possibility that we'll see how it plays out, but it's endurance, it's longevity, it's can you hang tight and hang in? To me, there's only one outcome this goes. Noam Dar wins it all. I think Dar gets the job done. I think he wins the match and successfully defends the Heritage Cup. I think Dragon Lee will make it interesting in certain matches in this bout, but I think ultimately it will be Noam Dar winning the bout and successfully defending the Heritage Cup. So, Anthony, it's yours.
You know, it's still weird to me that WWE spent so many months just entirely ignoring the existence of this title, only to randomly put it on NXT as if it had been there all along. Since this has immediately turned into Dragon Lee feuding over it, it would be strange to me if he didn't win the title. Doesn't that seem like the entire purpose of bringing it back? So I wouldn't be surprised if Dar wins, but I got to say Dragon Lee wins it. I'm going to say Dragon Lee walks out with the Heritage Cup. Wouldn't surprise me if he did. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is going to be something. I mean, to keep an eye on here. I mean, but for me, this is tough. But I gotta go with Dragon Lee to win this. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's your splash.
Next up, the finals of the vacated NXT Women's Championship. A champion will be crowned. Lara Valkyria going one-on-one with Tiffany Stratton. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Going to be a very good match, I believe. And, you know, I've been back and forth on this one, but there's only one way this goes. I got to go with Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton is due. And, I mean, with, just give me a minute here. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be Stratton here. There is absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, with the way she's been booked, and with and considering we haven't really had a viable heel women's champion since Mandy Rose, when she had her epic run not too long ago. Stratton is the only. I think she was being groomed for it. So and I said it. Whoever came out of the Stratton Perez match was going to win the title. Stratton came out of it. She's got to win the title. Of course, we all know how this happened. Indy Hartwell, now a Raw superstar, which means she can no longer be the NXT Women's Champion. And of course, we all know what's going on with the tag titles because of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn going to SmackDown despite being drafted. But the tournament to crown the new women's champion, you know, most of the matches were meh, but that Stratton Perez match the other night was great. And I've had this feeling Tiffany Stratton was going to be the one to win it all, especially now that she's in the final. It's a little surprising to see Valkyria in this spot, but I can't see her winning the vacant title here. So winner and the brand new NXT Women's Champion, the center of the universe, Tiffany Stratton. Michael Bullock. It's been a while since you've had a viable heel women's champion. I think that changes. I think Tiffany Stratton wins the title, and I think hopefully she'll get a decent run with it because of what happened with Indy Hartwell. Her run only lasted 31 days. I think once Stratton gets it, I think it's going to be a lot longer than that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be longer than that. And yeah, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The winner and the new NXT Women's Champion is Tiffany Stratton. So nothing more to say. It's your Sledge.
All right. With that said, it does lead us to the main event of the evening. Michael Bullock. Well, I totally agree. Tiffany wins it all. Main event. Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. NXT title on the line. Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, are you there?
Oh, damn, I forgot to turn on my mic. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with Carmelo Hayes here. I mean, it's too soon for him to lose the title after he had just won it. So, but definitely Braun Breaker's definitely going to give him some fits. So Carmelo Hayes will still be your champ. So it is yours, Pledge.
I agree. Carmelo Hayes wins it all. So Anthony, it's yours.
Make it unanimous. It's a homecoming for Carmelo Hayes. He's from Framingham, Mass. So, and it's because of this, obviously, that he's got to go over here, and I feel, excuse me 1 second here. All right. Yes. Okay. Yep. It's definitely going to be Carmelo Hayes. Like I said, Framingham, Mass native, who was at the game 2 of the conference finals last week with the Celtics and the Heat. And it would be really odd if Hayes dropped the belt back to Breakker after all they've done leading up to this point. Breakker will put up a fight, especially as the heel going into this. But whether it's via help from Trick Williams or just a straight up clean pin, which is what I prefer, Carmelo Hayes walks out still the NXT champion. So, yeah, Bullock has called it a night. So, with that, MF, let's get into AEW Double or Nothing now.
All right, and we're gonna start it out with the House of Black with their open challenge. You know what? I know they said that it's probably gonna be the Acclaim and Daddy Ass. It doesn't matter. House of Black wins the match. They'll successfully defend the titles. I don't think there's not much more for me to say here. So, Florio, it's yours.
Definitely. It's going to be the House of Black. I mean, who can stop them? Nobody can stop them. So until I see somebody, different, you have to go with that. So yeah, regardless of who it is, even though it's probably going to be the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, winners and still the trios champions, it's going to be the House of Black. So with that, MF, let's set me up for the next match.
Non-sanctioned Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. And yes, they made the big announcement. The special guest enforcer for this match, formerly original AEW, former original ECW guy, not AEW, but ECW, the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal, death-defying Sabu! Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Oh, MF, that just made my night. We missed you the other night. I'm very curious. What did you think when you saw him? I mean, since we didn't have you on the other night.
I basically was watching it, and when I heard the words, I was like, no, it can't be him. And once I heard it, and once I saw it was freaking Sabu, I lost my shit. I marked out. I freaked.
Of course.
I was like, oh my God.
Was Sabu ever an ECW champion?
Yes.
He was.
He was.
Okay. Because I don't know the history as well as you do, but all right. Just a little curious. That's all, since we didn't have you on the other night. In a night filled with stipulation matches, how this unsanctioned bout differentiates from, say, Anarchy in the Arena will be interesting to see. If there's anyone that can pull it off, it will be Adam Cole and Chris Jericho, two veterans whose paths will finally cross on Sunday night. The inclusion of Sabu as an enforcer is mildly interesting, if not extremely random. I would expect to also see the return, perhaps, of Kyle O'Reilly during the match, in addition to Roderick Strong and the Jericho Appreciation Society getting involved. Cole has been rumored to be tabbed for a future run at MJF in the world title, and Jericho has been losing more often recently in high-profile matches, as you can sense another creative change coming to his ever-changing persona. And, he's getting up there in age and getting these bucket list matches crossed off the list. There will be a point at which he can't do these anymore, so now is the time. But it's not his time to win Sunday. It's time to get a real world title challenger and one who fans can really buy as a future title holder. So the winner of this unsanctioned match, Adam Cole, baby. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, just to let you know, Anthony, I know you were wondering about Sabu. Sabu has done it all in professional wrestling. And I mean, if you want to know about Sabu, let me see if I can find him. He's a 3-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
3 times. Oh,
3
okay.
times. Yep. Actually, 3-time. He's actually no correction. 2-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
3-time ECW World Tag Team Champion, and was an ECW World Television Champion. So he had all those belts, and on top of that, and I know you're not going to believe this, he actually is a former New Japan Pro Wrestling champion, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion in his career. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't, like I said, I didn't see him in the old ECW. I know you did. I know you followed it religiously, and you know the history way better than I ever will.
Yeah.
I only remember Sabu when WWE had their version of ECW, their PG version of ECW, if you will.
True.
And then of course that legendary barbed wire massacre match with Abyss in TNA.
Oh, by the way, the fight of the year in 2005.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to hardcore gimmick matches, yes, but overall, it was the Unbreakable 3-Way. Duh.
Oh yes. Total agreement. And by the way, and one other thing, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
He held Sweet Charlotte?
He held Sweet Charlotte.
Wow.
It was the NWA Florida. However, he was an NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
There you go. So I got Adam Cole, baby, winning this match.
I totally agree. I got Adam Cole as well. It's gonna be an interesting fight. You know I like these type of fights, non-sanctioned, anything like that. Oh my God, here we go. All right. So next up we had, guys, was Jay Cargill going one-on-one with Taya Valkyrie for the TBS title. All right. If there was ever a time for Jay to drop this belt, this might be it.
Yes.
This is the perfect opponent.
Yep.
This is the perfect moment.
Yep.
This would be the night that if there was ever a moment or ever a time where we should have a new TBS champion, this is it. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger. I would love for them to pull it. I think the whole world wants to see a new champion by now. It's time for Jade to drop this belt. It's time for Jade to have that one on her name. Ty is the one that could do it. If it's not her, then I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe they're holding out, praying to the gods that it might be Mercedes Moné, that she joins AEW, and then maybe she's the one to do it. But the problem is, Mercedes just shattered her ankle. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was an event about a week ago in Long Beach, California, where Mercedes Moné was fighting with Willow Nightingale for the NJPW Strong Women's World title, and Mercedes shattered her ankle. She broke the ankle, and Willow actually walked out with this belt.
But Mercedes was supposed to win the title.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole world knew Mercedes was gonna win this belt. That's why she dropped the IWGP Women's title in Japan, because this belt, this championship, was specifically meant for her. And she had to drop the belt because she got hurt. You want to talk about unlucky. You want to talk about unfortunate. And you want to talk about what Michael Bullock was talking about with Dakota Kai earlier tonight.
Yep.
Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, whatever the hell you want to call her, she has been snake bit so many freaking times,
especially in her career.
Year.
Especially the last year.
Yeah. So I want to say Taya wins it, but I think they're going to keep it on Jade. I don't know why. I think Jade wins this. I want to say Taya, but I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think AEW has enough faith to do the unthinkable. I don't think Tony Khan has the guts or the balls to take the belt off of Jade Cargill. I don't. I'm gonna go with Taya, but I really got a feeling like Jade's gonna keep this belt. I got this feeling, Anthony. So it's yours.
I don't have any doubts on this one, MF. The problem with having a young undefeated champion like Jade Cargill is eventually you need to have her lose and also pick the right person to give her that loss. Her long title run and undefeated streak has gone past the expiration date, and her character needs a new pursuit and some depth that will also liven up the TBS title mix as a side benefit. Willow Nightingale should have been the one to beat Cargill, but AEW blew that opportunity to strike when the iron was hot. Valkyrie cleared to use the Road to Valhalla finisher should win here if for the only reason that a change is desperately needed. Valkyrie's not the perfect choice, and Wednesday night's win over Lady Frost didn't really help increase the temperature for this, but this show needs a title change, and this is the right belt to swap wastes. So I'm going to be a little more confident than UMF on this and say the winner and new TBS champion, We're a Loca, Taya Valkyrie. Set me up for the next match, MF. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. So next up on the fight card, well, Anthony batting down the hatch. Anarchy in the Arena.
Yes.
The Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. Florio, it's yours.
This is it, man. This is, out of all the matches on this card, this is the one I'm looking the most forward to. The build between both factions has been really, really good. And while all are skilled wrestlers, this will be a bar fight, violence extravaganza that will leave the most memories after it's all said and done. This also marks the official reunion of Hangman Adam Page with his fellow Elite members after a long, long storyline in which he was disillusioned with the group, defeated Kenny Omega for the World Heavyweight Championship at Full Gear 21, and slowly became realigned through the despicable actions of the BCC. There's still plenty of meat on the bone for future matches between these groups, including a Kenny Omega-Bryan Danielson rematch, but we'll see whether the stove burner stays on after this wild brawl. This will be the main attraction for Sunday night, and I don't think there's a close second. As for who wins, the babyfaces always tend to win these matches, so I got to go with the Elite, especially after the epic reunion they just had, and I think the BCC's due for a loss here. So the winners for me, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and the Young Bucks, the Elite, MF, if only because the babyfaces always 9 times out of 10 win these type of matches.
I agree. I gotta go with I gotta say the same thing. I think it's gonna be the Elite. I think the Elite wins it all. So there's really nothing more to add here. So next up, Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm, and for the AEW Women's World Title. All right, going into this, I was thinking Jamie Hayter, but I think Tony's going to win this belt. I don't know why. I think it's going to be because of the Outcasts. I think they're going to get involved. I think they're going to neutralize. And when it's all said and done, I think we're going to have a new champion. I think this is going to be that moment, that quote unquote dark moment for AEW. The Outcast is walking with this belt. I got to say, new champion, winner and new champion, Toni Storm. even though I love Jamie Hayter, I think Jamie's been amazing. I think it's time for the AEW to have a heel women's world champion, because I think they're gonna flip the belts a little bit. I think because of Taya winning the TBS title, they're gonna turn it and have Tony win it, have her run with it for a little while, because there's a good amount of baby faces they could work with. After Jamie. Jamie can get the belt back, but you got to think Britt, Hikaru Shida, Riho. There's going to be a number of girls that's going to want a shot at this belt. So, and you could definitely utilize Tony as champion. And then, of course, with Soraya and Ruby together, you could make them a dominant force. So, winner and new champion, Tony Storm. Anthony, it's yours.
Like other feuds in AEW, the Originals versus the Outcasts is one that has gone on for a while and perhaps slightly past the peak, as it has been presented as a group versus group feud with no real individual gripe standing out. There's no clear final match or resolution that makes sense, as all 6 women involved have been presented fairly equally. Jamie Hayter has to win here and will likely stay champion through the All In at Wembley Stadium in her native England, unless AEW wants her to lose Sunday, thanks to perhaps a Britt Baker turn and chase through the summer, culminating with her getting the title back in London. I don't think that title change happens here, though. This will be hard-hitting and very good, but it's time for everyone involved to move on. I'm going to take a chance here and say the winner and still the AEW Women's Champion, it's Jamie Hayter. So that's all I can say on that, MF, unless AEW wants her to lose that title and maybe have her win it back in her native London at All In, maybe. I don't know, but I got to go with Jamie Hayter retaining for now.
Okay, fair enough. No doubt. All right, next up, the Blackjack Battle Royale. 21 men for the AEW International title. Anthony, it's yours. Who you got?
Oh man, this one can literally go either way. This has the feel of what WWE used to do with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale during WrestleMania, by giving a lot of wrestlers the chance to be on the big show without any real impact. Orange Cassidy has had a great run as international champion, but losing it in a Battle Royale would be a lame way for his 200-plus day run to end. It's more likely he earns title defense number 23 on Sunday, and then maybe loses it on either the next Dynamite or a future Dynamite, maybe to a surprise challenger. I don't know, but my gut's telling me that freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy successfully defends and walks out still the international champion. So I got to go with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy as the winner and still the AEW International Champion, unless you have a different, MF.
No, I actually have Orange Cassidy winning it all myself. I think you're absolutely right. I think you brought a very valid point here, and I really got nothing more to add on that. So I even have Orange Cassidy winning it all when it's all said and done. So next up we got is Wardlow versus Christian Cage for the TNT title in a ladder match. This has got set up for Christian to win it all, man. Ladder match. You got Luchasaurus. I mean, the way that this is being set it up, I think Wardlow's about to be a transitional champion again. I hate to say it. Winner and new TNT champion Christian Cage. Floyo, it's yours.
On the list of stipulation matches Sunday, this one earns the Y tag. This will be the first meeting between these two, and the ladder edition came only after a 2-on-1 attack with Luchasaurus last week when the ladder just happened to get involved. A Christian Cage run with a secondary title could be fun, but after just getting the title back after a very head-scratching turn of creative events with Powerhouse Hobbs over the last few months, AEW can't take it off Wardlow again this soon. Could it? I know you're thinking that, MF, but I don't think so. I got to disagree again. Winner and still TNT champion, Wardlow. Set me up for the next match.
Tag team titles on the line. FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
I got a good feeling we're going to be in agreement on this one. Let me just find my notes on this one. Yeah. Well, this will be fun. The Jeff Jarrett, well, let's not forget MF. Let's not forget the special caveat here. Your boy, Mark Briscoe, as the special referee. So,
yes, he is.
And now, as I was going to say, while this will be fun, the Jarrett and Lethal push in the tag team division remains a curious one. For a promotion that was once focused on the young and the next versus the older and the still around. This will be the 4th tag title opportunity for Jarrett and Lethal, and only the 2nd title defense for FTR in its latest reign. Mark Briscoe is the wild card, as he has had his issues with both teams for varying reasons. Again, this will be a fun match, which ultimately is the point, but in the wrestling buffet, many promoters look to provide to fans. The whole Jarrett, Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh dish should be sent to the back for a while. Winners and still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, FTR. I got a feeling we're in agreement on this one, MF. Am I right?
FTR successfully defends the titles, no doubt about it there. Main event, fatal 4-way, the 4 pillars of AEW. MJF, the reigning champion, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Fatal 4-way for the world title, and MJF walks away with it all. I just don't see him losing this belt yet. They got to find the right guy. He ain't the right. There isn't the right guy here. I think Jack Perry will be amazing. Darby Allin will be amazing. Sammy Guevara will do something. This could be the fight of the night, and this could steal the entire weekend of the Memorial Day weekend with all the wrestling that we got coming up. But at the end, when the 4 pillars are going to be in that ring, only one pillar will be the strongest of the 4, and that's going to be the villain, the devil, the reigning champion, MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman successfully defends. Anthony, your go.
Give me one moment here. Yep. All right. We're at the 6-month mark of MJF's world title reign, and so far it's been okay, I guess. While MJF has been a constant on Dynamite, it's been primarily for his promos and building up to matches rather than actually wrestling. Since defeating Jon Moxley for the title back in November at Full Gear, MJF has been in the AEW ring just 4 times, with no action in January or April. While he has played up in promos that he doesn't need to wrestle that often, the champion failing to have semi-frequent matches is an issue. He's an attraction. But at this point, he does not have the career cachet of a Roman Reigns or a Brock Lesnar to be able to float in and out when needed or when they want to. At just the age of 27, MJF simply wrestles too infrequently for a company that needs a strong champion. The build for this match has been, well, interesting. All 4 men were tagged as the 4 pillars early on in AEW, a phrase designed to show fans young talents could be seen as the future of the company. In retrospect, that was an error, as it subconsciously eliminated 99% of the roster from being considered part of the foundation of the future. If you were to poll AEW fans, they would say there's no chance or 0 chance Guevara, Perry, or Allen walks away as the new champion. They are too smart these days and can see this as a match AEW head Tony Khan simply wanted to do at some point, and thus here we are. All 4 men have been given wins along the long path to get here, with only Darby Allin standing out as meaningful. Jungle Boy's win over Roosh last week didn't help his cause, as he was inexplicably beaten down for 99% of the bout, only to get a fluke win by pulling the tights and getting that win. Meanwhile, Tony Khan's recent attempt at a Guevara face turn based off the All Access reality show has had the effect of citrus juice squeezed into an open wound. And then there's the pay-per-view aspect and what's drawing people to click the buy button. I don't fret like others. We don't fret like others do when it comes to what will drive those conversions, because the hardcore AEW fans will buy it no matter what. It's about the total experience and not just the main event. Of course, if the buy rate comes in low, let the discussion begin as to why. Great title matches often become just that when you think there's a chance the challengers could win. That's just not the case here. And while the match will be an excellent in-ring spectacle, it's indicative of an issue AEW has had for some time. When the world title match on its pay-per-views doesn't often feel like the biggest thing on the show, nor the match people are looking forward to the most. But I do agree with you, MF. Winner and still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. So with that, let's call it in a night, and we got some future content to set up now, don't we?
Well, hold the phones. No, we're not done with
Yeah.
We got one more little bit of news. Mikey's mindset that I gotta get out of the way. My boys, my friends, RWA.
I forgot.
They're at it again.
Absolutely.
Dynasty going down tomorrow night. And they're gonna be this time around. They're gonna be at the Johnson Recreational Center in Johnston, Rhode Island, for the event. Here is the whole thing, the whole breakdown. First off, we're gonna hear from Frankie Bones. Frank Bones, as many of you guys know, suffered a real damaging injury not too long ago. A bad injury, and he's going to address to the world what's going on with him. I hate to say it, I got a bad feeling about this, guys. I really, really, really got a bad feeling. Well, for one, chances are he's most likely going to have to relinquish the Ocean State title. That's the one thing that I think is probably going to happen. But beyond that, that's where I'm really concerned. I don't know if this is a career threat injury. It was a bad leg injury that he did suffer. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I for all you fans out there, this is going to be a big one. So not only that, my thoughts and prayers are with them, and we got that. So, 6-man tag team fight we got is Pumpa Vicious and Coach Will, part of Team Morales, and they're going up against Ryan Frost, the Mighty Bosch, and Thrasher. 6-man tag team fight going down tomorrow night. And then, in another 6-man tag team fight, it will be DCMC, the Dark City Murder Crew. Jason Devine, Jamie Tucker, and Ricky Medeiros. They are going to be going up against the losers. Sean Leader and Tom Billington and their tag team partner, the Insane Dick Lane. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Next up after that, mixed tag team fight, as it is Ariel and Braden Michael Thomas, BMT. They'll be teaming up against Nick Diamond and Big Juicy. That is a mixed tag match that's going to be going down tomorrow night. Then we have ourselves a one-on-one match. Kellen Thomas, the Riot Kellen Thomas, goes up against one half of the AEW, of the RWA. I got AEW in my mind all of a sudden. What the fuck? I'm sorry. The RWA World Tag Team Champions, the Ace, Mike Montero. Then after that, we got Denzel Jordan going one-on-one against Working Class Heroes member Barnaby Combs. We also got Harry Brooks going up against the Revelation, Mr. Christopher Sterling. Then, co-main event of the evening, a number one contenders match for the RWA World Title. Stephen Lust to go one-on-one with Shay Cash. And in the main event of Dynasty, the RWA World Heavyweight Title on the line, Nick Marchand goes one-on-one with the reigning and defending champion, the entitled AJ Phoenix. That's going to be tomorrow night, live from the Johnson Recreational Center in Johnson, Rhode Island. And we hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Have a great time. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be there. Work commitments beyond my control. Florio's got commitments. Bullock's got commitments. Unfortunately, Talk Wrestling TXN will not be there. But I do want to drop this little nugget for you guys. We will be back 1 month from now. We'll let you know why. It's a very special reason. But we are going to Johnston for this event coming up in the future, next month. We will be there. So, with that said, that special content that Floyd was talking about, tomorrow night, we are going to be doing a special show, Talking Wrestling TXN. We're going to be recapping the Night of Champions from Saudi Arabia, and we will be doing the Celtics chat Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Then, Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. We're gonna do this. We will obviously do Monday Night Raw. We will recap Anthony's Impact Wrestling special, and we're recapping the NXT Battleground. That will be all done on Monday. On Wednesday, which is the Wednesday Night Madness, we will recap the Double or Nothing, the NXT, and the AEW Dynamite show. So we're gonna spread this out through 3 episodes. So tomorrow night is Night of Champions. Monday on Raw will be the NXT. Wednesday night will be the AEW.
What time tomorrow on that?
Let's go 10:30.
Good for
Or
me.
whenever the Celtics game is over.
Okay.
So possibly 11.
All right.
So we'll wait till the Celtics game is over and then we'll recap.
And as far as Monday is concerned, if the Celtics force a Game 7, we'll add that Celtics chat to Monday's show too.
And we'll say. And then of course, Thursday is TXN Sports World. Light docket, but we'll be previewing the NBA Finals. We'll be previewing the Stanley Cup Final.
Yep. And week 8 of the USFL. Week
8 of the USFL. And I do believe if there's any UFC or any boxing. Oh, there is a couple of boxing notes I want to talk about. Big boxing announcements coming out. I am going to be talking about it. Bud Crawford going one-on-one with Harold Spence Jr. I will give you my thoughts about that fight. And we might even have a possible heavyweight championship fight possibly going down in September. There's a rumor about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua in London. I will give you all the details. What's going on? What is this? What is going on? Because the rumors are starting to swirl. I'll give you my thoughts about that possible fight. So we got that for Thursday, Friday. 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again. Another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. So guys, we're out of here. We're done. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. As always, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. And until then, so long, everybody. And we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Goodbye.